We're coming up to 1 month since the release of EAFC Ultimate Team, and today I'm going to be giving my opinion, sharing absolutely everything to do with the positives as well as the negatives, giving a full Ultimate Team review. But before we do get into the video, if you're going through Ultimate Team and you really want to make the most of it, then there is no better place than U4GM. U4GM offers cheap, fast and reliable EAFC coins so that you don't need to go and put the grind in. To make this even better, you can also use code Fanatic to get a 5% discount. Thank you U4GM for sponsoring today's video. This is an FC24 Ultimate Team review. Yes, there's quite a lot already out there, but most go and put their reviews out at the beginning and then EA releases a patch only for it to completely change everything. So I decided to wait, hold mine off, give it a month, play about 100 games, whilst also dedicating a decent amount of time and then give my opinion. You're also welcome to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I've broken down my review into 3 sections: gameplay, game modes, and then menu. And we'll be talking about the positives and negatives of each. Firstly, let's look at positives with the gameplay. Women coming to Ultimate Team was the big thing this year, and I must say that it is fairly well balanced. I'll be honest, I don't watch much of women's football, and when I say that, I mean there's absolutely 0 games ever being watched, so I don't really know the players. However, I've still been able to build some pretty cool teams using some female players, just experimenting to see what's there, and it's been a lot of fun. It's definitely changed things up from what I've been able to go and do in previous years, where I would always go for fairly similar teams. When gameplay is good, you can still get some nice pass and play. Defending is harder this year, although I'm still classing that as a positive, because it used to be very annoying when opponents would just go and hold down their X or A button, depending on their platform, and just let the AI defend for them. To be honest, I really didn't mind gameplay last year. I know there was a lot of complaints, but for me, the complaints that I had and will have this year are not so much to do with gameplay in terms of the small intricate mechanics, but more of just terrible design or even incompetence. It does annoy me every single year that EA puts some buzzword, talk about some new technology. This year, of course, was Hypermotion V, but then again, I didn't see much of a difference between the gameplay that we currently have compared to the gameplay as what we had last year. Now, as I said, I didn't mind gameplay last year, but you can take that as a positive or negative. Now, let's actually focus on the real negatives with gameplay. It's still inconsistent on a day-by-day basis. It's also inconsistent across a game mode by game mode basis. We now have online games within division rivals lasting about 15-17 minutes. We then have squad battle games which are around 10 minutes, but then if you were to go and play against the AI within single player drafts, they're still 15-17 minutes. And then we do have the slow, sluggish gameplay in itself, which does change on a day-by-day basis. Sunday happens to be the worst, but then by the time it gets around to Monday morning, things are a lot smoother, and that's when I would prefer to play. There are times on Sunday where I have some free time and I think, hey, I would like to go and play Ultimate Team, and then I go into one game, realize that it's absolutely awful, and then refuse to play for the rest of the day. This is stuff, and these are complaints that are not new. Although the timing for matches is somewhat new because EA did just go and change the time for squad battle games. However, because things are different every single time, no matter the game mode, no matter the day, no matter the time, it's always been a complaint and this still has not been fixed. Going back to that previous point, do not care about Hypermotion V. I don't even care if we're using Hypermotion from FIFA 22. However, I do care when you start putting all of these buzzwords, talk about technology, and then it's just quite stupid design to go and have things this way, as well as not fixing the main root to the problem. And that brings us on to a point which really annoys me, and this is draw quits, another design problem. I'm going to say it. If someone forfeits a match, you should get the win no matter what the overall score is, because, and it says it on the button, forfeit match. They've given up the right to win. In fact, they do get the loss if you forfeit a match. However, you do not get the win. Now this really annoys me because even though I have this YouTube channel based around Ultimate Team, I don't dedicate that much time to gameplay. I want to dedicate more time. However, I have other YouTube channels to run and I also have a business to run. I do enjoy playing Ultimate Team and I want to do it in my spare time. And I also enjoy making videos. That's why I do this. On average, I can play maybe 1 or even 2 games per day. However, I do not want to do anything when I get into a game and my opponent quits at 0-0. Now, that's on the good side, because in that situation, I've only wasted a couple minutes. It becomes real problematic when you get into a game and it goes up to the 70th, 80th, potentially even coming up to the 90th minute. It's a draw and then they quit because I get absolutely nothing for it. My opponent loses the game. I lose contracts on my players, and if I have any loan players, I also lose a game with those, but I get nothing in return. And it's a complete waste of time. It gets even more annoying that this year, and this is also another problem within Ultimate Team with gameplay, and that is once you come up to an opponent who does get a goal and starts passing it around the back, you can go ultra attack and push as many players forward as possible, and the game doesn't really do anything. You can select a player and keep on chasing them down. There is no real way to push your team that far forward. There is a cap to this. So they can just keep passing it around the back and keep on switching it, and there is not much to do. And with this, and statistically based on you playing a toxic player like this, that's even if you were to get the ball back and you were to go and score, well, now it's a draw and they're going to quit. So the game doesn't even count. And that's the stuff that annoys me the most, because of course there will be toxic players within game, but there's a very easy way around this. But because of poor design with choices to be made with how we handle those forfeiting games, that those players can just continuously keep on doing it over and over again. If you couldn't tell, very annoying. But now let's actually start looking at some of the game modes. And overall, game modes are pretty good. I mean, not much has changed from previous years, and I haven't had too many complaints. It does seem like there is a lot more content this year, and I'm saying that at a time when there are players within the community who are complaining with the lack of content, and I should be honest that I was going to be one of those players because I completed all my evolutions within the very first week of Ultimate Team. And it's taken 3 to 4 weeks for them to go and add more evolutions. Just before I started recording this video, they did go and release a few more. So hopefully they keep on releasing more evolutions for players to go through. And I'm also hoping that there will not be a cap to this. I also think it is a positive that they did make squad battle games shorter. It makes it more profitable to go through and also more entertaining. The fact that you don't need to wait there for 15-20 minutes. It should still be that with online games, the half length stays the same. And when you go and play against the AI, that should be on a separate timer, the same timer as what we have for squad battles, which I believe is 4-minute halves. Why that isn't applied to single player draft, I really do not know. There are negatives with game modes, such as Division Rivals does still become pointless after playing or winning 3 matches and then 7 matches. Once you win 7 games, if you already have the qualification points, there's no real reason for you to continuously keep on playing. I think Division Rivals should have a broader reward structure, and this should also be applied to your seasonal milestones, which the rewards this year are awful. All you get is a club item, no packs, no coins, nothing. Just a club item, which is very disappointing. And we did mention it earlier, but of course there's inconsistencies between the game modes that you play. We talked about that on timings, but it is also gameplay in itself. Online draft is so much faster and there seems to be more player mistakes compared to Division Rivals. However, gameplay in squad battles against the AI is slower than Division Rivals, but then feels faster than what you have within a single player draft. Makes sense for there to be difference in gameplay against playing online versus playing against the AI, but as we've already established, there's also differences against playing in any online game mode as well as playing in any game mode against the AI. And that also brings us on to menu gameplay. Really been enjoying Evolution so far. We did briefly mention it. I just hope that they continuously keep on expanding. Right now, with the players that you can submit, they can be amazing. It can be great. I really hope that we can throw in some big name players and just upgrade them to be something amazing. But I know saying that, if that was to happen, it's not going to be until maybe after Team of the Year, potentially even after Team of the Season, which is really going to suck. Menu is also a lot more fluid for you to go from point A to point B now that you have the drop down menu pressing LT top left and then just selecting where you want to go. It does make life a hell of a lot easier. And to be honest, using it, I can't picture myself not using it. Other than that, menus are pretty much the same. There are a few minor issues. The menu will occasionally freeze, especially if you're going back and forth within the transfer market. You keep on searching for players. It seems like if you search for players too quickly, suddenly everyone on a single page will show up, except it also still thinks you're looking at the menu of the transfer market. So it will also show that within the background. Speaking of going through the transfer market, as you are trading, trying to buy players for your team, or just trying to trade like I do, there will be pages where it cuts off the final player of each page, which isn't a major problem. You still know who it is, but it does look kind of weird. And finally, the claim all button for objectives is a lie. This is something that EA made a big deal about within their pitch notes and also within the trailer. It's not what was initially advertised. There is certainly a claim all button and you can use it. However, it is only usable within groups of challenges. For example, at the time recording this, there is challenges within objectives such as Road to the Knockout, and by completing those challenges, you will be able to hover over and press your analog to claim all, but it does not allow you just to go into objectives and press the left analog for you to claim all objectives through every challenge. So the problem isn't as bad as what it once was, where you would need to go back through every individual challenge to claim all, but you do still need to go through every group challenge to then claim all, plus still need to go through your seasonal and claim them individually if you were to rank up relatively quickly. But this is my current thoughts on Ultimate Team. The biggest issues, in my opinion, are nothing to do with the bugs or glitches like we went through within the menus, and it's also not really down to certain gameplay mechanics. I know that there will always be a preference when it comes to gameplay. There'll be years where I like it, when no one else likes it, and there'll be years where everyone else likes it, but I still do not like it, and we're never gonna get that perfect. But for me, the real issues lie where it's just laziness. The fact that there has been a community that has constantly complained about inconsistent and slow and sluggish gameplay at certain days as well as certain times of days. And the fact that there has been complaints on draw quits and they still exist with it being such a simple solution is what's really annoying. And despite saying this within this year, last year, the year before, and I've mentioned it many times before that, before this YouTube channel was created, that will probably never change. And that's the real big letdown to Ultimate Team. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you very much for watching.